Hey guys, and welcome back to Mangotology. If you're new here, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Steven Mango, and I'm an ex-Scientologist who makes videos here on YouTube exposing Scientology. So if you'd like to stay up to date on all my videos, please make sure to go down below and hit that red subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications, and you'll get an alert whenever I release a new video exposing Scientology. And for today's video, I'm going to tell you guys two stories that just happened to me and things that are currently ongoing with me, which again, these type of things only happen to me somehow, some way. The universe is always doing these type of things to me, which is how I'm now working with a celebrity Scientologist, as well as how I was on set for another project working on set of a streaming service show, and how an actress was recruiting others into Scientology, and I was somehow in that recruitment session, which will make sense to you guys in just a moment. So if you're interested in hearing all these crazy stories, then keep on watching. Hi again, guys. I've missed you all. I know it has been such a long time since I've been here on my channel. I've been having some really serious health issues going on, and some other things like I've been hinting at in this intro about working in the entertainment industry and stuff. So I'm actually going to film that video after I do this one, so it should be out relatively soon. I'll kind of explain my absence and stuff like that, but I have missed you guys. I'm not going to ramble too much at the start of this video because I do want to jump into these stories right away. I'm editing on a new editing software since my other one was Windows Movie Maker, and obviously I couldn't render the HD files, and you guys noticed like everything was all kind of glitching, and like edits and cuts and everything weren't right on my videos. So I am investing in new software, learning it now, so I hope that you guys notice that this video quality and content coming soon is good. I have a lot of really cool videos coming soon, guys, so stay tuned. So let's just jump right into the story. So during the pandemic and stuff, obviously, like it was for everyone, it was really difficult to be like home all day and not like seeing other people. So even though I didn't need to like go back to like a normal job, I just wanted to get out and into the world. And given I've had both vaccines, and I've highly recommend you guys do as well. I know some people are anti-vaxxers. Please, just, this isn't a debate about that, but I needed it for my own health, and I felt more comfortable getting the vaccine, being around other people, and I'm a germaphobe, so I kind of feel more comfortable having it. Make your own decisions for your own health. But yeah, the entertainment industry, they test like 3 times a week, and I figure, or 3 times, they do like a rapid test, and then several other times during the week they do a PCR test. But anyways, it's not really important to the story, but it's okay to be like working on set right now, and I feel comfortable doing it versus being around like crowds of people. And I said, you know what, let me go back to doing background and stand-in work on shows. It pays extra because all those times I just mentioned that you're getting a rapid or PCR test, you're getting $100. So I mean, they pay you for that. It's a union job. I'm making upwards of $500 a day doing it, so it's pretty good money. People think like, oh, you're in the background, like it's, you know, this like horrible sucky Hollywood job. I'm like, what union job? Being able to show up on like a movie studio lot, eating craft services for lunch and dinner, like it's really not as bad as people actually think it is. But yeah, so I've been getting some stand-in jobs, which is obviously more exclusive, more or less. Even though you're not on camera, I have to kind of explain very quickly on like kind of what I do. I know it doesn't really make sense, but it's going to play into the story about why I'm working with a celebrity Scientologist now. But anyways, basically what happens as a stand is you show up on set for the day, you get a copy of the script called your sides, like the sides of the scenes that you're shooting for the day. You put on the wardrobe for the actor that you're standing in for, so you have to have like a similar look so the cameras could adjust like their focus and their lighting and stuff. Like if you're wearing a yellow shirt, it's going to reflect light and stuff different than if you're wearing black, or you know, whatever, right? If you have a deeper skin tone, you're going to need different lighting than if you're like a more fair complexion, right? So I have to be of similar height. I don't have to be like a dead ringer for an actor, but I have to have like a similar height, build, and general like kind of appearance. But yeah, that's basically what I do. Then you stand on a mark. I watch a rehearsal of the actor doing the scene. I take notes of everything my actor does. If he's holding a coffee cup in his left hand, and then he walks to the fridge, and then whatever the scene actually, like whatever happens, I have to take notes detailed of what he does. Because when they call for second team, which is the stand-ins, I go up, I stand in his place. They put like tape marks on the ground of where to stand, and they'll ask for me to run through the scene, a lot of the times with dialogue. So I'll hold the coffee cup in the left hand, walk to the fridge, do the same exact motion, so then they can like prepare the camera, like we have to go this way and we have to have it lit from this direction, whatever that they do from like the production angle. So now you guys get like the general gist of what happened. So I'm not actually filming, because when they call for the actor, I step off, he steps in and does the scene. So I was being used as a utility stand-in, which means that I'm standing in for multiple actors on the same film. So in this one scene, it was like this high school scene. I can't say again which film or anything it is. It's non-disclosures and all that annoying stuff. So I'll tell you guys after it wraps filming, or when it actually comes out, like which film this actually is and which celebrity actress that I was face to face with. So I'm in this scene and I have to sit in this reception desk because there's like the receptionist for the school, and the two actors come in. One, again, I can't say this actress's name, she's very famous, and then the celebrity Scientologist, didn't realize it's a celebrity Scientologist, come walking in the door. First, actress A comes in, talks to me as the receptionist, and then actress B comes up and says something to me as well. So I know that's like does not like have any excitement of like what this actual scene is. I know, watch the movie when it comes out, but anyway, so I'm sitting in for the receptionist. So they call in for the actual actor, so the two stand-ins for the celebrities step off, and I'm still here. Maybe my actress is like, because I was sitting in for a female actress actually at this time, maybe she was like delayed, like she was in hair and makeup. I don't know like what was going on, but I was like still having to sit in the place because they're like setting up the shot, and again, they can't shoot because they're missing the actress that I'm standing in for. So I'm sitting there, and then first comes the famous actress A, and then I see actress B. You guys don't understand this. Maybe you would. You guys, anyone who's followed me for a very long time would understand. For some reason, my life is just like this. I get myself into these sort of situations, even unwillingly. A normal person might like say leave Scientology, never think about it again, never be around Scientologists, or just people to move on with their life. I'm now at work, working face to face with this celebrity Scientologist. And I know that this actress knows who I am. I used to see her at Celebrity Center. She used to ride her bike. I don't know if this is giving away anything for others who might have been at Celebrity Center. She used to ride her bike around the Celebrity Center. Okay, let me finish telling you this part of the story. The story's not like that much longer. The second story is more of what I wanted to tell you guys about being in the recruitment session. That was very weird. The celebrity actress comes over. Like she's going, ha ha ha, talking to someone. And then she comes here. And I'm obviously here as the stand-in. Again, I am one of the more vocal, I mean maybe not so much recently, but one of the more vocal critics about Scientology. Face to face with the celebrity Scientologist, again, you don't run into celebrities all the time. I don't, at least, right? Like, never would have thought I'd been running into a Scientology celebrity, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking like, okay, how do I handle the situation type of thing, right? Because if I'm going to be on this film, possibly for a few months, I'm going to probably be face-to-face with this person more than once, obviously. So what I do, just to make it less awkward for either one of us, was instead of if her eyes are here, I'm looking like here. Like I'm trying to look under. Because a lot of the times like, they want you to like, look at the actor like when they're setting up the shot, so they know like if the camera's here and my eyes are here, like they need to know where to move the camera, right? Like that type of thing. So I just kind of kept my eye line a little bit lower so she's not like dead looking, staring into my eyes and my soul and knowing that I'm like the enemy Scientologist person. So anyways, eventually my actress, even though that probably felt like 20 minutes, it wasn't, but the actress comes over, did not want to have any conversation with this actress. I just like jumped up when I saw her like coming because I did not want to deal with this. And then the actress sat down, they did the scene, and then I got to go like stand off in like the area that I sit in. So I'm like literally writing a community post to you guys being like, oh my God, you guys don't even understand, like right at this moment, like I'm with a celebrity Scientologist and I'm at work and I don't know what to do. Like I was writing a post like on my community page here because I wanted to tell you guys, and I'm like, you know what, let me just like take a moment and then like I'll make this video because I've been dying to make this video to tell you guys that this is like actively happening. This isn't like 10 years ago. This wasn't 5 years ago. This is like in the last like week or 2 weeks, however long it's been. Yeah, that happened. Very awkward. Did not say anything. I don't know how, like, what would you guys do in this type of situation? Like, I need your opinion on this. Like, again, I'm not going to say anything because, again, they're all about fair gaming. They want to attack their enemies. If she wants to, she can tell the producer, like, hey, that guy looks at me the wrong way. She doesn't even have to mention him as Scientologist. She could just go report to Celebrity Center, hey, you know, Stephen Mango's on the same set, now I'm working with him every single day and it makes me feel uncomfortable, or he's an enemy of the church, like what do I do? And then they'll say, hey, tell the producer to kick him off the thing and to replace him as another stand-in, or say that he made some sort of weird comment to you, or just trying to find a way to get me fired. And again, only so many casting directors do background and stand-in acting, like to get you on set for these things. So once you're blacklisted from one, they cut you off from 90% of the work, right? So I just don't want that to happen right now until I like go to school. Like I have other things I'm gonna tell you guys in the second video that I'm making about my life, but again, it's just like, I don't know how to handle this type of situation. I accidentally slept through, they told me at midnight that I was supposed to be there at 7 a.m. I was already asleep. So I haven't actually been working on it in the last like week or two. And you know, they might be putting me back on the schedule to be back on this film in the next couple of weeks. I don't know, but I just feel like this is, again, only something that happens to me, like celebrity Scientologist active in the church with one of the more vocal enemies of the church, face-to-face, working together on the same production, same employer, same everything. So yeah, that was a doozy. I had to get that off my chest and tell you guys that happened. So again, inform me what you guys would do in my situation if you were me and you're working with a celebrity Scientologist. Would you ever say something? Would you never say anything? What if she brings it up? What if she, like, I just don't know what to do? Do I inform like a producer, like one that would be in charge of me, not like a high up one, but someone that would be like, hey, you know, she's a celebrity Scientologist. I'm a very active enemy. They have this policy of attacking their enemies. So I'm just warning you that if you hear some sort of weird, crazy rumor about me or something to try to get me fired or whatever, I don't know how I would word it, but to be like, hey, just in advance, no, I'm a very vocal critic of this group. So I just want you guys to know in case she starts trouble. Maybe that's something worth doing. Maybe it's not. Let me know. Okay, second story. Before doing that, I was just doing background work. Before I like upgraded to being a stand-in, I was on some other, like I said, streaming service show. So you have to go through different, it was like, I don't know what time my call time was. So I had to be there probably at like 6 in the morning or something, which means you have to wake up at like 4 in the morning or earlier than that to get ready, to lug wardrobe, because you have to bring your own clothes and you have to show up, do the nasal swabs for the COVID-19 production stuff. They put you in a separate tent area and then they have to read the results. And then once you're cleared from the COVID area, then, and you're negative, then they let you go into the next part of like the set that you're on. So I was eventually in like the holding area where you get to relax. You can like totally have your own break until they need you. So I was gonna kind of nap for a little while because I know I wouldn't be needed for probably several hours at that point. So always that like hurry up and wait sort of thing. So I'm like this, closing my eyes, just trying to get like a little bit of like relaxation, I guess, because it's still early and I don't wake up, you know, the crack of dawn. So I'm closing my eyes, resting. Again, you can't be fully asleep. You have to be awake enough to hear things going on in your nearby surroundings. So I'm just kind of like resting, whatever. And then all of a sudden I hear one of the background actresses, I'm assuming it was at this time, I guess I didn't really know whose voice it was, but I'm just listening and I'm hearing, I'm friends with Tom Cruise. So again, imagine this is the first thing that happened. So the celebrity Scientologist thing happened like in the last like week or two. This happened like 3 months ago or 2 months ago or something like that. So this is actually an earlier story before this. So again, this is just like, what's the next thing? Like, am I just going to have a knock at my door from Tom Cruise? Like, I'm just wondering, like, to where does my life go from this point if it's only getting more and more, like, intense with these, like, run-ins and stuff like that. So I hear, oh, yes, I'm friends with Tom Cruise. So again, I'm like, ding, 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 like, I have to listen to this. So I was, again, staying cool because it's, like, happening, like, right here and I'm here. I actually have a photo I'm going to show you guys, too, of what happened. So closing my eyes, listening, and then she's talking basically about like he's working, again, maybe it was like one of the Mission Impossible movies or something like that. I don't know if she met him on set as a background actress or like how she actually knew him, but I have a theory of what actually happened. So I'm going to tell you guys what's actually probably going on. It's very interesting. So she had to get someone's attention because I did hear her telling other people, oh yeah, Tom Cruise, or I'm friends with Tom Cruise. Other people didn't show interest, but this one specific guy showed interest into this like whole entire conversation. So that's like the weird part of it. So she's like picking her mark. She finds out who she can tell this to so she can rope them into Scientology. Maybe the guy said something like, oh, why doesn't he put you in one of the movies? Or like, why you're just like a background actress or something. And then she's like, yeah, like we're waiting for like the right part, or maybe he is going to get me into a movie. I don't know what like kind of story like she was making up, but she was claiming that she's friends with him and she talks to him all the time. She calls him Tom or Tommy or whatever she was, you know, saying to him. Again, I'm trying to recollect exactly what she was saying. So she was either texting or she was on like Instagram Instagram DMs claiming that she's talking to Tom Cruise. And she was saying like they have like these very deep philosophical, and I'm like, okay, this is where Scientology is going to come in, these deep philosophical conversations. And sometimes it even takes Tom like a day or 2 days to respond, because he likes to like really like marinate and think of something really good to like respond back with, because he comes back at her like, hey, boom, 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 like whatever those words would be, that would be like these insightful Tom Cruise words of wisdom. So she was writing, being like, oh, he just saw the message, look, whatever. So maybe, I don't know if he was messaging on his official Instagram, or how she was having this conversation with him was just like very bizarre to me. But in any event, she's claiming she's talking to him, texting him, trying to do like the parlor tricks of like showing other people, look, he responded, right? So she's talking about that. So then again, I'm like just resting. Again, I don't have time for this. There's enough nutty background actors in the world. Again, you're in Hollywood. I know I've been doing it, but I've been here since 2009. This isn't my first rodeo ever doing this. You meet a lot of people just like move here, or maybe they're easily impressionable, or they think that they're about to be famous any day, or they're just waiting for the right role. I'm not under any of that impression. I don't really care about acting as much anymore as I used to. I don't really want to be an actor, but I'm doing it just because, again, it's a lot of money. I'm not going to make that type of money in a normal job, so I'm just doing it until I find something more aligned with what I should be doing with my life. That's again for video too. So she's starting to talk and be like, oh, Scientology is not as bad as what people say it is. I just can't just show up to work, as you guys can hear now. Cannot show up to work and just get some peace and quiet. This actually really triggered me, and when I was filming this video before I decided not to use the footage, I was kind of more triggered about it. I'm like, hey, I just want to, at the time, now it's a little bit more comical after being from story number one. After that happened, it's like, this isn't really as big of a deal. But, you know, I'm sitting there, and at the time I was just thinking, I'm like, I can't move on from it in a way. Even though I feel like now I'm like distant from Scientology, I just feel like, wow, like I'm just trying to like be in my everyday world. I'm not in Scientology, but why am I still like involved in these like weird encounters? Maybe it's just because I'm in LA. I'm not really sure, even to this day, like why these type of things happen. But it was triggering. It was upsetting. Like, hey, I had such a traumatic thing that happened to me when I was in Scientology. I don't want to be reminded of it. I don't want to hear these lies, because she's starting to recruit this guy into Scientology, more or less. So I'm sitting there, and you'll see how close I was in this recruitment session in the photo that I'm showing you guys. And I'm like sitting right there in the middle of this, and she's talking to this guy. And then this is also what I want your advice on. What should I do? I don't know, and I was about to. It was a dead quiet room. I have social anxiety. I'm not good at just like, hey, blah, 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 like jumping into a conversation or trying to get into something that I know could be combative or can be going into a back and forth thing. Again, I'm at work, so she could tell, you know, in today's day and age too, she could say, hey, this guy's harassing me. He's making uncomfortable comments to me, or about my religion. They don't want to deal with that. On any job, company, whether it's a Hollywood thing or you're working at the grocery store, I don't care. Like, no employer wants to hear that one of their employees feels harassed, uncomfortable, or they can make up any number of things just to get me kicked off, or to get me fired, or to report back to who hires me for these type of jobs, right? And especially if she's a Scientologist, hey, this is our way to get back at him. This is fair game. He's speaking up against the church. We have to like have some sort of payback, so he shuts up. Nothing really silences me, guys. I would just get another job. Like, it wouldn't like change my life all that much, but other people it might completely throw them for a loop. But for me, I'm just like, I just don't want to deal with this girl right now. So I had to really think about how I wanted to handle this, because she's talking about like the idea of a thetan being your spirit in Scientology. But she's kind of explaining that like, hey, you're a thetan, you're a spirit. You live lifetime after lifetime. You're not your body. Like, this is your elbow. What is you? You're a spirit. You're not your arm. You don't identify yourself and say, I am this finger. I am a head. You say, I have a head, because you're a spirit. And when you close your eyes and they say, look at a cat, who's looking at the cat? Me, not your body. Like, that's how Scientology would say it. I know I just went off on this whole tangent, but again, that's kind of how she was describing Scientology to this guy, and how she knows Tom Cruise, and she has these connections, and he's going to help her, and blah, blah, blah. And she's going through the whole entire thing. Then eventually she walked off, and then the guy was alone. I'm thinking, should I talk to the guy? So I was going to go up and talk to him. She comes right back. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't even have him to be like, hey, because he was interested. He's like, oh, that actually sounds kind of cool. Or, oh, what kind of guy is Tom Cruise? Even though she couldn't get other people that she was telling interested. This one guy could be someone like me who gives $50,000, $100,000, $1 million to Scientology. So I wanted to at least warn him. I did think I've seen him on other sets before, so I'm like, maybe I'll run into this guy again. So I've always wondered that. I did see him the other day, actually, like 4 or 5 days ago, but I didn't mention anything about this girl. I just didn't want to get into a whole thing about it. But They seemed to be kind of friendly, so that was the other thing. Maybe they've known each other. He ends up walking off, and then I get called to go with him. So I'm standing right here next to him on set of this thing, and I'm right about to be like, hey, like, you know when you're waiting for that moment, so I'm kind of like, hey, and then they're like, oh, you have to go here, and then you have to go into this mark, and you have to stand here and walk and talk to this person in the scene. You know, they're giving directions because, again, they're placing us in a scene in the background to perform, right? So I was right about to say something to him, and then I got called to do something. Then eventually I was alone again, and then she was just there. So I was then taking the next approach. My next approach was to try to talk to her, because I'm like, well, I could try to save him. That could be the one reasonable thing to do, is try to talk to the guy. Didn't have an opportunity. And then when I was sitting there alone, for the most part, she was there. So just kind of like me, her, maybe a couple other people were like kind of sitting far away. So then I'm just like looking at her, smiling, and I was trying to look friendly and approachable. So then she would start talking about Tom Cruise to me, or she would start mentioning something about Scientology, because I think she had a like a celebrity magazine, or one of like the Scientology industry it's not an industry paper, you know what I mean, the religion's newspaper. So I was hoping that she would try to talk to me, because then I would play the role, not of Scientology critic yet. I would first try to get her to say as much nonsense about Scientology to me as possible. Then I would start slowly being like, hey, did you hear this? Did you know about this? Blah, 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 blah. So I started talking to my friend, I started telling my husband, because again, I'm upset at the time, because I'm like, hey, this was my life. I was the one that was recruited into this. And now I hear all these lies, and she's trying to scam this guy, and that's how I'm thinking about it. She's trying to scam him, and I'm upset. I can't say much because I'm at work, and I don't want to lose my job, and I wanted the money, so it's just like, what do I do? So I'm talking to my husband, he's like, hey, you can at least say maybe to the girl, hey, I made this video or this movie about Scientology, you should check it out. Near the end of the day, send her home with the link of my Inside the Scientology 2.5 hours movie. You guys can see it's the first video on my channel. It has 3-something million views. Why most of you guys probably know about me. And leave it at that. Or about the BBC documentary with Louis Theroux that I was in. Or just give her some sort of little thing so that she knows, like, I was a critic. And if she has to report it, it just kind of shows them, like, hey, you know, there are SPs out there that will, you know, speak up for the truth. But I didn't give it to her. I did not know what to do. I was protecting myself at the time, because I was really upset about it, because I felt silenced because I was at work, and I know that I couldn't say much. And I did not want to start trouble with this girl, and again, I'm anxious talking to people, and I didn't want to just blow out. If she talked to me directly, like I said, maybe I would have like gone in a little bit more, but I knew I couldn't really say much at that like very instant. I don't think that guy got involved in Scientology, believe it or not, but maybe he did, I don't know. But my theory is that what Scientology is doing is, when they're recruiting people now, they have to recruit people more one-on-one. And I've seen this happen where you'll be at the grocery store and talk to some girl near, you know, the celery or something, and the celery lady will start being like, hey, I see like you like look a little bit, you know, flustered, like, are you anxious? Like, is there anything like in your life that's like upsetting you right now? Like, I'm sorry, I know that's kind of forward of me to say, but I know like it looks like something's going on. Like, what's bothering you? I know I'm just like some stranger bagging lettuce. I'm part of this like self-help group that has like a course on, you guys see what I mean? It might not even be that directly at first. It might even be like, hey, you know, building a rapport. Oh, I also love celery. Oh, you like celery too? Hey, you know, I have this really great juicer at home, and we can make celery juice, and I want to tell you about some like really cool things going on in the world. Like, I don't know what they would say to build that rapport with a stranger, but they do that. In the entertainment industry, I know that more because that's my niche, because of how I got roped in. I'm not really familiar with their grocery store recruitment, even though I've seen I've seen Scientologists recruiting at the grocery store, but that's again LA for you. With the workshops and the entertainment industry stuff, they have like these workshops, especially at Celebrity Center now, one-on-one workshop with this producer. Meet with this acting coach to see about how to unleash these blockages in your mind. They have a lot of one-on-one now. I think they realize like if you have a group of 100 people, it's harder to target, your individual ruin, it's called in Scientology. The one thing in your life that if it was fixed, that Scientology will offer the solution for, will change your life. So for me, if I feel, like I said, socially anxious, if they could cure social anxiety and promise me that, if that's the one thing I feel that's stopping me from being successful in the world, I'll take up Scientology's help, right? That's their logic behind it. You're not selling a religion, you're selling help to the person. So I see that this is kind of what's happening. He was building, or she was building a rapport with this guy, promising, you know, hey, like, I'll introduce you to Tom and these different type of things. So he would feel this connection to this girl, to maybe she'll slowly, it might not be overnight or that day, but maybe over the course of 3 months, she'll start talking more about Scientology beyond just the basics, to make him want to come in and sign up for a $50 course. And then Scientology will take over and bring him up and, you know, shake him dry of every dollar that he ever, you know, owned in his bank account. A lot of these newbie actors don't have that money, then they rope them into the Sea Org. See, so they don't get your money, then they get you to join the Sea Organization and sign a billion-year contract. So it's one way or the other, it's how Scientology works. So, like I said, they have these like Zoom workshops now, so they're recruiting people in all different cities and trying to get them to come to Celebrity Center. To go right to me from like Canada recently, and she was in one of these workshops with some like young actress, and then they're like texting her, and they work one-on-one. It's like a narcissistic or just like a manipulative relationship. That's the best way to think about it. It's like a one-on-one romantic relationship with an abuser, more or less. You know, or maybe you don't know, that person, you know, has a knife at your back but is smiling at your face like, hey, like, this is like the greatest thing in the world for you. And then it eventually, it's toxic. They love bomb you, you're so special and amazing, and then you feel like you have all these ties to this person that you don't want to let them down, right? So yeah, I'll check out your church, yeah, I'll go to a free seminar, and then people think they're able to like overcome brainwashing, like, oh, it's Scientology, I would never get sucked into that, oh, I would never believe what they say, I would never give them a penny. Every single person, guys, I'm telling you, that I've ever met, every person I've ever tried to get into Scientology joined. Every single one. That goes to the best man at my wedding. Every single person. Maybe not my mom and dad, that's a whole different story, but I'm talking about, but I never brought them into the org. But I'm talking about like any friend, person I met, showing absolutely no interest in Scientology. Never would join, never gave them $1, ha ha ha, aliens, whatever. This thing is a total scam, a cult, whatever. I bring them in, they're signing up, going on course every single day. After they come out meeting with one of the friendly registrars, like one of the, like the new people ones that are good at getting people to come in, or they show up to the Celebrity Center like, oh, that actually is kind of interesting, or whatever. Somehow they all get roped in. So, I mean, maybe nowadays, 10 years later, maybe it might be a little bit easier for them to not get in the door to begin with. But I think when it's one-on-one, like if you wrote to me on Instagram or something and you're like, oh, hey, Steve, I like you, whatever, and say I was still a Scientologist, I could be like, hey, we should get lunch. Yeah, I'm kind of lonely, and, you know, let's go, and you're in LA, let's go get a green smoothie, whatever it is. And then I could do my Scientology sales pitch, and then I could figure out what is going on in your life, because we'll have heart-to-heart conversations, and then boom, sell you Scientology. Oh, there's the Overcoming Ups and Downs in Life's course. This really great, takes like a week. You have a week of your life. Okay, let's do it. You see how it goes? So I think that this is what's happening. I think Celebrity Center actually sent her to do background work on set. There's not like the same like lines outside of these casting offices to register or auditions. Everything's virtual now, right? So it's harder to meet these up-and-coming actors unless you're in an acting class or something like that. So I feel like what they do is they tell these people, sign up at Central Casting or wherever, right, to go and become a background actor. Once they're a background actor, they get the job. The Sea Org member, the Scientology representative, even the public person, right, who's just trying to get people to come in because they get a 10 to 15% commission. They want the 15% commission. They go rope in new people, they get 10-15% of that is money, and they're on set meeting more potential marks to bring to Scientology, and they think that's going to save the planet. So I think Celebrity Center either sent her in there, and maybe she was like a representative at the president's office, and then she knew like, hey, we have to bring in more actors for our stats, bring them into Celebrity Center, some like the new up-and-comers who might be like, background acting is usually the first stop that you, like the first thing you do in Hollywood when you don't have connections. It's before you join the union, before like it becomes like an actual job, when you're just trying to make some, you know, easy extra money when you're like a non-union person. That's what you might do. So they know that. Celebrity Center could have easily sent her on set, told her to start talking to people about Tom Cruise or whatever she think would get people's interest, and then get their phone numbers and then try to sell them on Scientology. She could be crazy. That could also be it too. Maybe she doesn't know Tom Cruise, but she's just trying to recruit people into Scientology and talk about Scientology. I don't know, but I think that she was... I still, like, even all these weeks later, I'm trying to give you guys a good reasoning of what was happening, but for me, I genuinely think she was just either sent from Scientology Celebrity Center, or she was someone like me who was a member who wants to recruit people to get a commission and just try to increase Scientology's actor population, because maybe if she recruits 1,000 background actors, one of them will become a big actor, and then they have a success story to promote Scientology and become the next Tom Cruise. So I don't know, I thought I was going to be the next Tom Cruise back then, that Scientology was going to help me get there. So they're good at promising people that when you're desperate, and I know a lot of people gave me so much grief over the years, like, you just want to be famous and that's why you joined Scientology and that's why you gave all the money and you're an idiot. If you had been promised a chance of something that's a 1 in a million shot to become an actor, when for every acting role they get 10,000 submissions. I'm not kidding, 10,000, and they'll audition like 20 people. So to get picked out of the 10,000 list when your agent submits you digitally and they have to go through 10,000 people, what are they going to do? They're going to pick people they know or whatever, right? To audition 20 people. It's like a lottery just to get one audition. It's not like you can just show up to an audition. You have to get invited to go. Then you audition, then they pick one person. So if Scientology is like, hey, we have a networking night, we have different things where all our Scientology celebrities and directors and producers go, and we have connections. Look at all these stars that we have, or used to have, it's not true, but we can get you to be where you're collaborating with these people and you can be in their projects, and we can get you to skip that whole entire line. We can help get you on set and speed track your acting career. So we can give you instant connections. You're new to LA, you've only been here for 2 months at this point. Now we can get you and save you years of your life. I'm bullied for being gay. I come from a small town, being abused, and all these different things that I wanted a better life for myself. Like, you can't blame me. I didn't know better. I was 18 years old. Yes, I could have Googled Scientology. Yes, a lot of different things could have been different if, like, looking back on it in hindsight, but an 18-year-old kid with a dream who came from a lot of, like I just said, abuse and hiding my sexuality and just going through a lot of trauma and different things in my life, to then be in this religious group that is love bombing me, tell me how amazing and special I am after coming from that abusive background, and then being told, hey, we see this star potential in you and we can make you a star. Like, as long as you're a Scientologist and you look after us, we'll look after you and we'll get you to the top like ASAP. Just take these courses. Are you going to blame me for that? You know what I mean? Like, why would I go and just try to be in a pile of 1 million people and a stack of headshots when they're trying to help both me as a person and as an actor? So, you know, a lot of people might say, hey, I could have avoided it. I wouldn't have joined. You're an idiot. Maybe you're smarter than I am. Maybe you could have overcome the brainwashing, or you wouldn't have even been sucked into it or saw it as a scam and I couldn't have. But, you know, it is powerful, and I do think they recruit people in this way. So I feel bad that I didn't talk to this guy, but, you know, I went on a little bit of a tangent there with all of that, but I just want to know what you guys think. Should I have said something? Should I not have said something? What do you think about the earlier situation? Let me know in the comment box down below. I'm going to film my life update video after this. It'll come out in the next couple days. I will try to be more regular, guys, but you'll hear in the second video about what's kind of going on, so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense of why I've been missing. I miss you all. If you guys want to follow me on social media, at Steven Mango, I post like Instagram stories and stuff where I post more regularly about my life. So follow me there. Make sure you're subscribing, turning on your bell notifications. You guys can send me emails if you want, leave comments if you don't mind leaving your stuff publicly. If not, you can email me. I always like reading emails and stuff too, because I like to be more engaged with my audience and stuff, where I know a lot of other channels aren't. So I consider you guys all my friends. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.